All right, now, I know when I was little, one of the gentlemen that I've spoken to said that there was a really heated debate over in his territory. Now, I met last night, I was down in Bay Terrace, and the person that I call Cup of Joe, his legendary mic, since I have so many mics, I gotta keep this straight. So, but I call that mic, the one with the larger belly, with the one with the St. Thomas t-shirt. Last night he had a Mets hat on for visual acuity or whatever. So now, last night I was speaking to him, and I was like, he says he self-identifies as something called Jewish, Jewish, which I always find very interesting. He says he is 100%. He went to some kind of, he had a bar mitzvah. Now, isn't that a bat mitzvah? Again, I can't, I'm not Jew, I don't know how to explain any of this stuff, because nobody, like, in New York is important or smart enough to figure this out or teaches anything. So now, he's like, I went, I studied, and I was like, well, now that's interesting. I was like, okay, so you're Jewish. I was like, well, now, then, can I ask you a question? I said, do you know what the difference is then between Jerusalem and Israel? I said, because I've looked on the map, it looks like it's exactly the same place. I was like, and it's confusing because, I hear things on the news, they only reference Israel. I was like, but I've only seen Israel with a white and blue flag and a star. I was like, so I'm just curious, do you, since you're 100% like committed to this Jewish thing, what does it mean? And he's like, and I was like, well, what's the difference then between Jewish and Hebrew? And he's like, well, Hebrew is a language. I was like, right, but it's the same letters that you all, like, because I was, and then I told him, I was like, I saw, I have one piece of currency. It looks like a dollar, but it's from over there with the writing on it, which I'm going to assume is Torah. I was like, and because that's what I think the Hebrews in Cold Spring Harbor called it. I was like, and now, so that's on the actual currency, but it has like a Chinese looking man on it. I was like, now how does that work into like the picture? Since when did like China, because I actually think now that I'm looking at it, I met a man recently close, his name was Armin, and he's Armenian. I went to a football game with him. Actually, it was a derby game, and the veterans were there that day. I think it was National Veterans Day or something like that. So they were all dressed up. It was nice. But again, it was one sports event, like a theatrical, whatever. And then we've got, let's think about this. And then I've got my Uncle Steve, who married my Aunt Marie. He's got a little bit of, if Armin is typically Armenian, then my Uncle Steve would be congruent with that look. Although I think that the guy on the dollar, I call it Chinese only because that's a far to the one way for the eye, because it's kind of like in between. So now it's just confusing with y'all with what the hell you're hiding over in an arid climate with dirt. Now, from what I know, you can suck dirt up with a vacuum. You can particleize it and separate the silica, which makes almost like a pliable material. I think that's what they're using in the TVs and computers now. How convenient. So that's why I call it Paydirt, because they just suck up the dirt, they melt it, they separate it, and then that's why like plastics are so, or were so big for so, it's like was a quick fix for every criminal and country out there. And then you've got like the people in the boats, but not like the rigid MiG-rigged Machiavellis that fly with uniforms. I'm talking like the little catamaran, like university, like they're on some kind of pass. And they get people to go to the bottom of the ocean and suck up artifacts, like dirt with artifacts. And then they get to the top of the boat and they got all this dirt on the boat. What are they going to do with that? How are they going to fund their next? Nobody's watching. Right, yeah, got that. So now I'm just curious, is there a reason why I in New York got no education, no money, no clothing, no anything important, no recognition? I've got the stupid Jews in New York because the one that I can find doesn't know how to define Hebrew, Jerusalem, Israel, can't tell me what the difference is. Hebrew's only a language. I'm like, right, if that's the case, then like, but it's a Torah book, so would the language then be Torah, and then the Jerusalem and the Israelis, they share the Torah language, and then like, how'd you come up with like the Hebrew? Is this like a brouhaha? Like, you've really confused the rest of us as to what it is that you all, and then I said to him, he's like, I really like that word that you used, and I go, which one? He goes, origin. And I was like, right, the last three letters of that word, origin, I was like, what is it? I was like, what is it? What does jinn remind you of? And he's like beginning. I'm like, right, there's those three letters again. I was like, okay, so you got jinn, and you got origin, and then you got beginning, which is Gin. So now you got two jinns. I was like, question, what is jinn? And he's like, I don't know. He's like, you mean like Jinn the card game? C-A-R-D? I'm like, no, actually, I don't play cards. I was like, but actually, I can confirm that. My dad, I think, plays with my boys. I was like, no, well, there's the Jinn Mill, Ginnmill. I have no idea what that is. Since I'm in like a blackout mill. And then there's the... I was like, but see now in like the spin-off between the Torah and like Arabic, there's like a blended something or other. Like I said, and it's, there's jinn mentioned in there, and now jinn's like ginger roots, so that would be like the color, like blonde hair. I was like, and I know that on one hand, they're like a mythical, magical creature, but on the other hand, they're like devilish, like if you touch them, you'll get hurt. And it goes with the karmic, with bringing, if you take from them in this life, it will follow you into however many lives going forward. I was like, or so the legend goes. I was like, and then there's, I gotta think about this, because that's the... I was like, but I don't know how to read it. I don't know anybody who knows how to translate it. And until I didn't even know to like ask around to look for it. I'm trying to think of what else. Oh, right. And so also with the glass, not only are they making car windshields and all of the... but it's also the glass that goes into all these horrific home structures that they've been building. It also goes into all the medical laboratory equipment for the, I think you should just bomb them all, because what the hell do you need, like, kids with beakers, like, mixing chemicals for in a nobody gives a shit laboratory? Why are we teaching the children these things? Shouldn't they be out growing food and, like, caring for their family? Just saying. I don't know why they woke up and thought that air conditioning and, like, laboratory equipment was, like, a must-have. What are the people at, like, Quiet Dangerous Science doing in like real criminal territory, with locked in like maximum security places and won't let the rest of the people in for inspection, yet all of the head towers and the science is going down? Including myself, I'm having trouble again this morning breathing. My tidal volume in my rib cage is not working properly. Let's think about this. All right, so that's the June. Oh, right, and then like somebody mentioned, but you're like a seer, an Seer, and I think it's a premier, Primer. And I'm like, yeah, but what does it mean? Like, if I'm this really important person, people know it, then why are they leaving me in New York with no education, nobody to speak to about these things, no money, no anything? And if I'm a premier seer, then why would they allow me to get raped by Jason Peter Romer and Anthony Tiafrail and be locked into New York in some shitbag fucking lifestyle? I'm just curious. Is this like all the dirt in the world? Like the Paydirt is just so much more fucking important than like breathing and being able to like live on the planet? Because like I swear to fucking Christ, if I could just collapse your entire civilization and relieve myself of human completely, I'd fucking go today. There's nobody I would take with me because nobody's shown up.